Hey there, just bringing you some quick thoughts on WandaVision episodes 1 and 2, which just released today on Disney Plus. They didn't release the whole series at once, so we're just going over 1 and 2. This will be full spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, don't watch this if you don't want to be spoiled on anything. I don't think you can really give. It's much easier to give a good review when I can just talk about the spoilers. So what I think of it, nice little intro into this interesting little world we have. I'm very curious about the timeline. Like, I don't know if it's been announced. I haven't really looked up any external media for this or anything. I'm just going based off of what the show shows me. So I wonder if we know what the timeline is. Like, does this take place after Endgame? Does this take place in between Civil War and Infinity War? I want to lean towards this is going to be a post-Endgame thing, but I don't know. So we'll see. They did a really good job of capturing that kind of bewitched, black and white TV style charm. The whole entire first episode actually is almost entirely in that. There's one little moment where you see the veneer break, and it's at the dinner table where Mr. Hart starts choking. But beyond that, you kind of have this very cheesy, 50 style comedy of like, golly gee willikers and, some really amusing things like, wow, Vision, you're faster than any human when he's typing so fast. He's like, I most certainly am a human. Like, very amusing. Like, I like that kind of cheesy charm. So I thought that was a really good way of setting the stage and setting the characters and definitely, pulled me in. And one thing I'll say too about both episodes and hopefully for the show is that they're only about 30 minutes long, which I honestly is kind of nice. Like, I've watched all the Marvel Netflix shows, and sometimes when it goes on for 50 minutes, it feels like it can drag a little. So I actually appreciated how quick both of these were. Also, great little intro theme by Robert Lopez. He's a musical theater composer. He's composed some other movies as well. I know he did the music for Frozen, Avenue Q, so it was really cool to see his name on there. And the production values are really high too. Like the ending credit sequence looks like something you would see in one of the Marvel films. Pretty high quality stuff. And then the intro too. They even used the little Marvel Studios intro, and they've got clips from Endgame in there. So very much appreciated. So the first episode, again, there's not a whole lot to talk about, as it's really just setting the stage, setting the world for like this fantasy they're living in, which is very interesting. And then episode 2 goes into, they're kind of putting on this magic show or this talent show for the town. And it's a great little sequence at the end too, where like Vision is like, for lack of a better word, he's drunk, but he's got gum in his body, which is like gumming up his works or whatever. And so he's basically just doing all his actual Vision powers. He levitates himself, and it's really amusing watching Wanda to try. She's got to make it so it looks practical. Oh, I'll, phase a rope into existence so that way the townspeople are fooled. So I really enjoyed that. And again, you kind of get this. This one has a few more moments of breaking that veneer where you see this helicopter that's in color out in her bushes where everything else is in black and white. And then the lady Dottie, Wanda at one point starts to freak out and she breaks this glass and her hand's bleeding. And you hear this voice on the radio at both the end of the first episode and the end of this one in the middle and saying, Wanda, who is doing this to you? So you're definitely thinking, it's either, I wonder if Wanda herself has been kidnapped and someone is forcing her to do this, or if, she's just under some delusion of her own. I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see where it goes. And the end of this episode has someone in a beekeeper outfit crawl out of the sewer and look back at Wanda, and she just has this moment of no, and it rewinds to basically cut out or skip that ending, which is very interesting. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what that'll mean. I'm pretty well versed in Marvel comics, and I don't know who that character is, if it is someone that we know, or maybe it was some original they created for this. So yeah, these are great little intro episodes. Great for just kind of setting the stage of the world. You've got the mystery there of hey, what is going on exactly? How did we get to this point? I think you'll really like it if you're a Marvel fan. I don't know how much you would like this if you just came into it and having never seen any of the movies, because I think there's definitely a feeling here of hey, you want to know who Wanda and the Vision are. I think you'll enjoy it a bit more if you know who they are. So I'm not sure how you'd feel about this if you haven't seen any of the films, but I'm definitely intrigued. I'm curious to see where they go. I wonder how many episodes this will be too. And at least for now, I really hope they stick to that half-hour format. I appreciated how quick and clippy it was. It didn't feel like it was dragging its feet. It was here. It was out. It was great. I also really appreciated there's this animated intro into episode 2. Kind of reminded me of the Jetsons, the way they're flying through space. And yeah, very adorable. definitely intrigued, excited to see where it goes, and unfortunately there's just not a whole lot going on yet for me to really comment on, but the hook is definitely there. Color me, I like all things Marvel, but I'm also very intrigued, like I really kind of want to know what's going on here. So thumbs up for me. I'm enjoying it so far. I can't wait to see the next couple episodes. Thanks for watching. Bye.